Welcome to the Low Stakes Podcast. With ticks are hot, the negus smoke low and slow, and the stories are always medium rare. Hosted by Jeff Avgaris, fisherman and backyard barbecue master. Alongside co-host Dave Lodwig, a Star Wars-loving, baseball-obsessed pitmaster. And produced by the outdoorsman himself, Nate Cross. Quite possibly the greatest name in podcast. This is the Low Stakes Podcast.
We are back. Happy 4th of July, guys. 2 days late. Huh?
Yes, sir.
July.
Yeah, it is the 6th of July, 2026, and we are back with another exciting episode. Did you guys have a good 4th of July?
I had a good, actually spent it on the road driving home from Seattle.
Awesome.
Which was phenomenal.
Nothing more American than that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Driving along I-90, which runs from Seattle to Boston. It's just this long run. But the best thing about driving home on the 4th of July is traffic was not a problem. Actually, we were in, I think, Moses Lake, and my daughter who was riding with me, she looked at me and she says, "Dad, are we still on the same road?" I'm like, yeah, sweetie. We don't turn.
It just kind of goes.
She's like, really? There's no turns.
What's funny is,
we get home.
It's never bad traffic in Moses Lake. That's like
No.
middle of nowhere, Washington.
Well, the thing about it, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I-90 features a lot of road construction.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm.
But none of those guys work on the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
So all the construction zones were completely empty with no delays.
You know, we need a road construction guest on this show because I got questions. Like
how to hold down a shovel?
No, like
they float away, I've heard.
A job where you just hold a sign and smoke for 9 hours.
No, like why
there goes another demographic.
Why do you need to pull the traffic down to one lane for like 2 miles when you're only working on like a tenth of a mile towards the end? You know what I mean? And I understand this, but we obviously have in the north, it's not just Montana. In the north, we have construction season. It's, all summer long, spring and fall. But technology hasn't advanced enough where you can do something in the wintertime. You can't fill some potholes or do something in the wintertime. I don't understand that. So,
well, then how would
go down and talk to their union?
Well,
they're usually rational, reasonable people, open to suggestions and ideas.
There goes the union crowd.
Exactly. Guys, I'm going to burn through at least 6 demographics today.
We're hot, right? Right out of the gate.
We're going to really dial in our demographic today. We're not going broad anymore. So my family is Greek. I don't know. And so every year on the 4th of July, we do a big barbecue. So we have this big pit up at our property in Southern Oregon, and we roast a full pig, a full goat, and then 2 turkeys on poles. We've done it for years, far before I was born. I've probably been doing it for 100 years now. And it's a lot of fun. Our family gets together. Everybody from the community comes up there. We usually have 100 plus people. And as we've grown older, I and my cousin and my brother, a few of us have devolved into the ones who actually cook these animals. It used to be my dad and my uncle, and we kind of just did the grunt work. But now we're the ones that are focused on this. So it's fun. It's nerve-wracking. It's more work than you would expect,
Well, I would imagine it's quite a bit.
It really is. And the biggest problem with these animals is that, they're not even. Like, we always smoke a pork butt or we smoke, whatever we smoke. But when you're doing a whole animal, like in a pig, their backside is a lot thicker than their front side. So
That's going to get clipped.
Bacon got back.
So, you're 20, 30 degrees behind in one end. And so anyways, anybody that hasn't barbecued on a pole before, you really got to do it.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Is how accurate is My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
It's super accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We all have our thing.
Every Greek person I ever talked to, which is more than
both of them.
Yeah. It's not a lot, but it's surprising how often it happens. But they all say the same thing.
Yeah. It's very, very accurate. Yeah. I mean, I have the same tendencies. Like the funniest one is that the grandpa there having like the Windex, put some Windex on it. We all have, all of us Greeks have our one thing that we use. Mine's Simple Green. So I use Simple Green for,
greaser.
I use it for everything. It's just, it's the best compound ever created. I'm convinced that. My dad, it's bungee cords. I mean, we just have our things, he'll bungee cord anything. Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, our tradition. So I got home at dinner time on the 4th from Seattle, and our tradition is we always climb up on our roof to watch fireworks at night. So we live up in the hills, and the great thing is I don't have to buy any fireworks every year. My kids they could care less about holding a sparkler or anything like that. And, it's a fascinating social experiment every 4th of July because, like, people of a certain income demographic who have 6 broken down cars in front of their house somehow scrap together the means to buy $5,000 worth of fireworks every year.
And let them off as irresponsibly as possible.
Like they're shooting Roman candles at a line of arborvitaes that are dry and
horizontal fireworks.
Yes, they're like, shoot. I literally have seen people get into Roman candle fights.
Oh yeah,
it's like, knock it off. I'm serious, Gary.
It's always Gary.
Yeah, it is Gary. Gary's the worst.
There goes another demographic.
Yeah. But no, so we climb up on our roof, and so we're watching the fireworks going off over at the stadium. The paddleheads put on a big fireworks display. You could see the ones all across the valley, and then I turned to my left, and I'm looking over at Linda Vista, and I saw the house burning down.
You saw it?
No.
Oh yeah, clear as day.
How close to you was it?
No, it's still off in the distance,
Okay.
but you can see the glow of the flame and the structure fire, and I could see all of the fire trucks that are running code go up Upper Miller Creek, hustling up there. You see their sirens all in a line going up the road, and the plume of smoke. And so I feel really bad for the family.
Yeah.
But man, it was just like, and then I don't know, my daughter's up there with me. I'm like, let's have a teachable moment.
Yeah.
And, like, there's laws in place for reasons.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. For those that aren't from Missoula, we had a house burn down the south side of town during fireworks, and the fire department was very explicit that fireworks started the fire. So, but people that watched it said it went up fast. Like it went up real fast. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they've really released it, but
no, it was, it was dark. We were up there, I don't know, it was like 10:30 at night, and we're watching all of them. And yeah, you just look off in the distance and you see the orange and red glow. And it's like, I looked at my daughter and said, somebody's house is burning down.
burning down.
Yikes. Yeah, we were up at Flathead, and there's a little private island, and the owner of the island he had planned this for a long while. He was doing a big fireworks show. And so we're sitting out on the dock watching because it's nearby to where the house that we were at is. And, we get about halfway through the show, or what we felt like was halfway through the show. And then all of a sudden, how a firework makes kind of a pop, not necessarily like a boom. I mean, some of the big ones do, but like we felt more than we heard an explosion. And like and we're quite a distance away, and it's like moving us. And the trees, we were on the other side of the island, so we were looking through some trees, and then the fireworks would go up above the trees. We didn't see anything above the trees. It was just orange, like yellow glow in the trees. And about like 5 seconds later, just this mushroom cloud, like plume of black smoke, dark black smoke, rises up above the island, and the fireworks show stopped. And we're like, well, someone died.
Not good.
Ricky, don't set that off. It says Tomahawk missile on the side of it.
And then about 5, maybe 10 minutes later, picks right back up, and on they go. So something blew up on the ground, and they kind of gathered their pieces back together and carried on with the show. The show must go on.
The show goes on.
Have you guys ever seen the sparkler bombs that people make?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have.
That thing,
No, I've never heard of
that
those.
thing will leave a crater in the ground. It is crazy. The most benign firework you can buy, or they're fine individually. You tie them all together, is a
It's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It is borderline act of God destruction. It is wild.
Yeah, don't do that at home. Yeah. So fun 4th of July. It sounds like we all did our thing, which was great. I was going to mention before we bring up our first sponsor here, if you haven't listened to or watched our episode last week with Enzo, Enzo's still just tearing the cover off the ball. Like, I've been watching stats. The kid is just a ball player. So listen to that, because what a good dude. And I got to get one of his jerseys and have him sign it, because when he's in MLB, I want that on my wall. So
that would be sweet.
After our episode, he had a game where he went over, and he was so down. I was like, "Hey, buddy, turn that frown upside down. It's gonna be okay." In baseball, if you fail 70% of the time, you're still an all-star and borderline Hall. I mean, he mentioned that in the interview.
He did.
So, but it's funny, when you go through a mini slump, you're just obsessed by it. And
he had a game. They just played. Paddleheads played. I don't remember who they're playing last night before. They won 24-17 or something.
Idaho Falls.
And they Enzo was like 2 for 5, but he had 2 walks and 3 RBIs and a double. I mean, the kid just lived out on the baseball field.
So I went and looked after our episode, and I saw on the Paddleheads website, he's top 5. They have a couple different stats listed of like kind of the big important stats. He's top 5 in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that game was the 4th of July game.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so I gave away my tickets because I was just like, I'm not going to go to, I've been driving all day. I'm not going to go. And that game, I think it was like 24-14, something like that. It went over 4 hours.
Gosh.
So the people I gave them to, I'm texting them during the game, like, "Hey, did you guys bring sleeping bags? You're gonna need them." And everybody, that was a sellout. That was a sellout game because they had the big fireworks show afterwards, and it's on the 4th of July. So
it's crazy too, because it tells you where we are. It's gonna be the dad part of me coming out. It tells you where we're at for like water and like a dryness around here. That many years in the past on the 4th of July, like, City of Missoula shut them down for their fireworks, or there had to be like special stuff. This year, I mean, it's green out there still.
Oh yeah.
Did Missoula do a fireworks show?
Well,
Like over at the mall?
They used to do it at the mall.
No, they haven't
I don't know
done
if they
that
do it
in a few
anymore.
years. I think the Paddleheads kind of stepped in to fill that role, and so they've had big fireworks shows on or around the 4th of July for the last several years.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, one of them, I was there. They caught their fence on fire over at Ogren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was wild. We were all sitting there, and I don't know what happened, but all the fireworks are going off. So I'm looking up in the air. I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty." And I look down at my kids, and I look over, and I see the grounds crew in their gator just flying out there, and I'm like, "Oh, all the banners in left field are on fire." And everybody stopped watching the fireworks show for a minute because we're looking out there, and it's like, are we supposed to evacuate? Like, we didn't know what we were supposed to do.
They're not connected, so you're safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cement stadium, so we'll be okay.
So I've always wondered, when people look up at fireworks, what they're thinking. And now I know you think, "Oh, that's pretty." I was just curious. I don't know. People look at fireworks.
I don't know. How do you respond to that?
I know. My brain was like, okay, normally, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm quick-witted. And my brain shut down for like 3 seconds there as you were saying that, because it's like, isn't that a normal human reaction?
No, I think nothing. I look up and I'm thinking nothing. I'm just blank.
That's like a telltale sign of being a sociopath.
I was going to say, we need to make a call.
Like,
there goes another demographic.
the last guy I strangled to death with my hands, I just felt nothing inside.
Accurate. Yep.
I definitely, I think about like the technical aspect of it.
Okay.
Like, because, hunting, gunpowder, reloading, stuff like that. I can make an explosion, but I can't do what they're doing with those fireworks.
Yeah.
And that's always been just fascinating to me, to see how they can make shapes and, changing colors. And I think it's amazing. Fireworks are one of my favorite things
They're cool.
ever.
Yeah, and the fact that they were doing that hundreds of years ago,
yeah.
That's something else. Yeah.
God bless the Chinese.
Love them.
We have them to thank for July 4th.
That's right.
Dave, give us our first sponsor.
When I was little, my grandmother told me she hated 3 things in life. Those who are intolerant of other cultures, Dutch people, what with their stupid wooden shoes and windmills, and the use of microplastics in health and beauty products. Luckily, the good people at Mystery Meadows are making high-quality beauty products that are completely free of microplastics, including an entire line of men's skincare products. Visit mysterymeadows.com today.
And make your grandma happy, too.
Make your grandma happy. No, she's dead. It's okay.
We should start with who's alive in your family.
Not a lot.
Wow.
It was so, and we're going to segue in and talk about our dads here for a little bit, because this is our target demographic with this podcast is dads, right? Middle-aged dads. But being out in Seattle, I was there for a Mariners game with my daughter. Got to sit in a luxury box that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I just wanted you to know that.
It was still a Mariners game.
Yeah, it was. They lost 2-0. Actually, so it was wild. So we're there on Friday the 3rd. They were playing the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays had more people cheering for them in the stands than the Mariners did. It felt like a home game for the Blue Jays.
Interesting.
And so, I was talking to people, and they're like, yeah, every time the Blue Jays come into Seattle, like this massive crowd of people come down from
Vancouver.
Yeah, from British Columbia, and they treat it like it's their team.
Yeah.
Because it's a heck of a lot cheaper to drive from BC than it is to fly over to Toronto from Vancouver. And so, yeah, it was a weird experience because, every time the Blue Jays got a hit or something like that, there was just this roar of approval from the crowd. So, but going back to the point,
I'm curious, did the Canadians, when they cheer, did they look at a Seattle Mariners fan friend and be like,
apologize?
Sorry if I hurt your feelings. I was just cheering for my team.
Sorry about that, eh?
Sorry. No, it's sorry.
Sorry about that. Hey, you want a Labatt's Blue?
Moose head for everyone.
Moosehead. Molson. It's preferred up there by those in Montreal.
I think we actually might hit 6 different demographics.
I told you. I'm going to piss
They're
off
going for everybody.
one. Oh, yeah. Just buckle up. It gets better. But we spent some time, my daughter and I spent some time with Clan Lodwig, because all of my dad's side of the family lives in and around Seattle for the most part. And so had lunch on Saturday afternoon, or on Friday afternoon, with my cousin, his wife, and then my aunt and uncle. And, my daughter, there's not a lot of times where she sits around with that many people with our last name.
Yeah.
All at one place. But, talking with my uncle, who's the middle brother, there's 3 brothers. My dad was the oldest. My Uncle Steve is the middle, and then my Uncle Greg is the youngest. And so I was with my Uncle Steve, and I was like, it is a weird moment when you're the top branch on the family tree, because so many of your relatives have died. And so I hit top branch of my family tree years ago.
Wow.
On my little part of it. And because, there's not a lot of people above me in my line anymore.
Yeah. That happens as we get older. But that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about today.
Let's talk about our dads.
We're going to talk about our dads and lessons from our dads, and what that means, and what we pass on as dads to our kids. Stuff that's going to be flowing through. And I got a few that are just going to stop with me too. There was some stuff, some advice that my dad gave me. I know he's not listening, so he is still alive though.
My dad listens.
Does he?
Does he?
Good.
Is he proud of you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're still doing that? I thought that was a phase.
So this will be a good episode.
This will be a great episode. And Dave suggested this, which is great. So, who wants to start? Who wants to start about a lesson from their father?
We always go first. Nathan, talk to us about your dad.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad. I got two. One, well, I'm going to do three. One about my grandpa because that's still fatherly advice. One on my dad is kind of a funny story, and then I'll share one that's a little bit more serious. So with my grandpa, while I was dating my wife, we weren't married yet. I don't even know if we were engaged. We met at college in Wyoming, and I had brought her back here for like a spring break or something to meet the family. And my grandpa were sitting around the table eating dinner, and like in front of everybody. You know how like you kind of whisper, but like it's intended so that everybody can hear you. He did that. He leans over to me and he says, "Nathan, either come back with a ring or don't come back at all." All right, Grandpa, I'll do that. But then he also gave me some other advice. And again, in that kind of whisper so everyone could hear. And Kayla, my wife, sitting right there at the time, just dating. He says, also, I don't know if it was in the same breath, but it was real close. If you're going to date two girls, make sure they have the same name.
That's actually really good advice.
Solid advice.
And I got slapped by Kayla. So that was fun. But my dad, so my dad's a veterinarian. And we've always been a hunting family. We've talked about on this podcast before about that's a big part of my life. And I will say, I learned a lot from my dad on hunting. Thank you, Dad. Definitely taught me a lot of that there. But don't learn how to field process game from a veterinarian.
No?
It's a bad experience. You will be the most knowledgeable hunter in the field about the function of a white-tailed deer's kidney, but you will have no clue what you're doing to actually process the game and get it back to the truck.
He's dissecting the organs out there.
We're there and it's like science class, and I'm just like, he's pointing out, here's this organ and it does that, and here's how it functions, and it's slightly different from in a dog or a human or whatever. And I'm just like, Dad, I just want to get back to the truck and like
I would
get
give
this
real
done.
money if this guy would shut up.
I got to be honest, one time that would be really fun.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great one time.
Yeah.
It's like you're dissecting a frog in 5th grade.
Yeah,
and, you know,
exactly.
it's like,
Yeah, you've got your scalpel and like, and my dad's actually allergic to the dander from deer, and so he gloves up like all the way to the shoulders.
Oh, okay.
And so literally it felt like 5th grade science class dissecting a frog, except for it's a deer. I mean, it wasn't until I probably was out on my own for 2 or 3 years before I was really comfortable field dressing game. So that's just a little funny hot tip for you.
I like that.
Go hunting with a veterinarian, but make sure you're good to go on your own field dressing before you do.
You know what's funny is fishing more than hunting. I fished with an outfitter for a long time. He's a friend and he was a client for a long time. And every once in a while, like if he couldn't figure out the fish, he had this suction thing, and we'd catch a fish and he'd suck out what they're eating. So you suck out, and so you'd see what they're eating, and then you could match your bug to what they're actually eating. And it always worked. It never hurt the fish, but similar sort of thing that was like, I don't know. I'm not fisherman. That's probably why I don't catch as many fish as I could, but that I'm like,
the term is angler.
an angler. I'm a fisher person.
I don't fish good.
Well, we know your son fishes better than you do.
He definitely does that, but
I mean, being a veterinarian, it's a noble profession, but I knew it was not for me the first time I walked into the vet's office and I saw my dad preg checking a cow, and I was just like, yep, nope,
I'm good.
I am good with that.
Your
But
dad makes good use of those shoulder high gloves.
on a more serious note, my dad, aside from being a veterinarian, he has led in the Missoula area a thing called Bible Study Fellowship for 35 years. And like, what a legacy that is. If you listen to the podcast, Dave is a pastor. I am also a youth pastor. Yep.
That's right.
And that's what I went to school for. And I feel like I don't know if you felt this way, Dave. I don't know what your background was before you went to get trained to be a pastor, but when I got to school for that, I kind of was like, man, I know all this.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm anything great, but it's because my dad, I went to Bible study fellowship with my dad every Monday, for 18 years of my life. And, he just was consistent with that. And really, I benefited hugely from that. And it's something that I will always look back on with great fondness and thankfulness. Those Monday nights, going out, we'd sometimes go like get ice cream afterwards or whatever. Those are just good memories, and I got really good training. Really grateful to my dad for that. So that's a little bit more serious, where it's just like a good legacy that I get to reap the benefits from my dad.
Faith is an important one, I mean, I didn't grow up, neither of my parents went to church. Neither really had in faith in anything, along
except for the bungee cords.
That's bungee cords. But I was always curious, and went through my own path, and then I got married to my wife, who is, more into church and religion, and it's got me into it. And then we found Dave, and despite his sarcasm, we still go to church there. But it is an interesting thing, you instill that in your parents. Your parents instilled that in their kids, right? And that's a really good one.
Yeah, it's definitely made a lasting mark on me, where I want to do the same for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people have the experience of, their dad or their parents being, 35 years into one commitment like that. I mean, take even faith out of it. Like, how many people, I grew up in the same house. We never moved.
Yeah.
My parents still live in the house that I was born in.
That's rare.
And so, like, just that consistency, it's something I
Definitely.
really appreciate.
It gives confidence to kids,
Sure.
Yeah, that's very true. What about you? What do you got?
My dad. So I'm the only one whose dad has passed away, and it blew me away. Sitting there, like I said, at lunch with my extended family, and I realized that my dad died in September of 2016. So it's been almost 10 years.
Wow.
Since he's been gone, and he died of lymphoma. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that led to kidney failure, and he went really quick. 7 weeks.
Jeez.
7 weeks. Cancer sucks.
Yeah, it
and my dad, he was a different guy. So Dan Lodwig was my dad, and he taught me a lot. My parents split up when I was 7 years old. The divorce was finalized after I had turned 8, and so like a lot of kids, particularly back in the 80s, you're raised by your mom, but you go spend time with your dad, and we had some great moments growing up. My dad was, you're gonna find this hard to believe, but he was funny and a natural talker. I know. So I come from,
Something about apples falling from trees.
Full of malarkey is what we call that.
Oh yeah. He was full of that and about 4 other substances at any given moment. And it's hard for me to talk about my dad without talking about my grandpa as well, just kind of like what you said, because my grandpa was the firstborn son. My dad was his firstborn son, and then I'm my dad's firstborn son. And so I have an older sister from my mom's first marriage, but there was this lineage of firstborn. And my dad and my grandpa had this like love-hate relationship. They were salesmen, both of them career salesmen. They could, the way my dad put it is, my grandpa could talk a hungry dog off a meat truck. He was just, he was so good, but he was also incredibly immature and irresponsible. And I say that with love. This is a story for another time, but my grandpa invented plastic garbage bags. And I can tell you the story another time, but he invented them, came up with the idea, sold them, but never patented them. Yeah. He was just like, he didn't want to spend the like $5,000 or whatever it was back then. So my dad was an apple that fell off of that tree as well. And so what I learned from him, number one, is he was funny. And I remember there was a summer, my 12-year-old summer, in 1988. I spent a month with my dad over at a family house in Ocean Shores, Washington, which is on the Washington coast next to Grays Harbor. And we spent a month there together in the summer. And I remember we're driving out there together, and my dad and I suddenly, for whatever reason, started quoting lines from Airplane. And, you know, when you're in middle school, it's one of those moments where it's like, my parents are incredibly lame and all this stuff. But when I started laughing with my dad and realized that we shared a sense of humor, that was like a foundational moment for me.
Yeah.
My dad taught me to love humor, even till the day he died. He moved out here his last year of life, and I became his power of attorney. I was taking care of him, and he had this beat up old 1993 Ford Escort wagon with like rust spots and all this stuff on it. And I remember he pulled in, and I'm getting him set up at his apartment here in Missoula, and I'm looking at his car. I'm like, Dad, this car is you sure it's still safe to drive? He goes, oh yeah, son, I love it. Guess what? 2 more payments and it's all mine. I laughed so hard. Like he had that wit about him.
That's funny.
So my dad taught me the value of humor. He got himself into so many situations. So that summer we're in Ocean Shores. We had a big family gathering there. And so for a good week before that, we would go and gather seafood. So we were pulling mussels off of the jetty, digging for razor clams when the tide went out on Grays Harbor, digging for oysters. We caught ocean perch off of the jetty. We're just collecting all of this seafood. And my dad gets this idea one night of like, let's get some crab out of the bay. We'll go into Grays Harbor, snorkel out there, and pick crab up. And we'll spend the night on the beach. So we get down there, I don't know, like 8 o'clock at night. He pitches a tent, and then we snorkel out, and we pick crab up out of the bay. I'm not even like 4 feet deep at that point, and I could still stand if I wanted to, and just putting them in buckets, just gathering up all these crab. So then we go back and get in the tent, and we sleep, and probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, my dad wakes me up. He's like, we gotta go. I'm like, 12 years old, not knowing what's up. The tide had come back in. The water was less than 2 inches from the front of our tent.
Oh, geez.
Coming in, and that was my dad to a T. He would get an idea and not completely think it through and the consequences of that idea. And years later, I laugh at that kind of stuff. Back then, I was like woken up from a dead sleep in a panic.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Or the Japanese decide to finally invade? I'm like,
Not a good spot to be.
yeah, not a good spot to be. So we pulled that up. My dad was a sensitive guy. Before Vietnam, he decided to get ahead of the draft in Vietnam. And so he did not want to get drafted into the Army, so he enlisted in the Navy and served on an aircraft carrier during Vietnam. But before that, he had went to art school in Banff, Canada.
Yeah.
And he was an incredible artist, worked with a lot of different paints. I have a couple of his paintings. I have one in my office that he did. That's great. And so my dad taught me that there's value in tears because he was a sensitive guy. He would cry. And he taught me that it was okay to cry. Back when I was a kid, I was like, oh, man, why does my dad cry so much? That's so freaking weird. It took me a while, to like, I wanted to be the opposite, so I'm not going to cry or, show emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 feelings. I'm either angry or fine. And
Fine.
but as I got older, I'd find these moments where I would tear up. And it's because, I learned that from my dad. There's stupid random moments that my wife pounces on. I don't know. Do you ever cry in front of your wives?
I have, yeah.
It's happened.
Yeah, it's like you guys are like growling, like, well, there was that one time.
I probably cry more than my wife. No, I know I do.
Yeah.
She is the stoic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, is she?
Oh, yeah.
I'm fairly stoic, but I'll get moved every once in a while. And my wife's a therapist, so she's a marriage and family therapist. Yeah, so she gets excited when I cry because it's like, ooh,
Emotions.
yeah, he does have feeling.
Besides being a smartass, he has another emotion.
Exactly. She'll be washing dishes, and maybe I'm watching something, and I get sentimental, and I'll start to tear up, and she'll come around the corner, and she'll look at me. She's like, "Are you crying?" And she's like, not like scolding me, but she's excited because it's like, "Ooh, he's crying." Because that's like one of those moments where your wife thinks he needs me. Right. And one of these times I'm just gonna be sitting there, like ugly crying with, from watching a commercial or something like that, snot dripping down. I'll be like, I don't need you. I don't need you.
One of my dirty little secrets is probably once a month. I'll say once every 3 months, but probably once a month. I like to get on one of the Instagram pages of soldiers coming home and surprising their family when they come home.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll sit there for like a half an hour. And it's not like, ugly girl cry, but it's like, I got tears coming out. And I'm by myself usually, like at my house, and I'll just scroll through them, Usually the ones with the kids really get me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the kids like at an assembly or something, and dad walks in and the kid's like, loses it. And so it's a good like emotional outlet for that,
So with my dad gone 10 years now, it's so hard for me to wrap my head around that. He was 69 when he died, and my paternal grandfather, his dad, was 73 when he died, which means I am 50 years old, which statistically I'm now 2/3 dead.
Mm-hmm.
But
Man,
that's a great Nate.
do we have another sponsor or something?
Wow, this got heavy.
Garden City Funeral is our sponsor today.
Exactly. Go see Rick Evans over at Garden City Funeral. No, the thing, being able to spend that last year of my dad's life with him, and as difficult as it was, if you ever have that dynamic flipped where you become the one in charge of your parent, it feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really weird. But he came to church, and repeatedly in that last year, he told me how proud of me he was.
That's cool.
And so I learned from my dad that carries a lot of weight with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell them that you are proud of them. Not, you don't go overboard with it, but there's key moments where you tell them you're proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
The other two lessons my dad taught me, and he was serious about it, and it makes me smile. He said, there's two things in life that make life worth living: dogs and women who make you laugh.
Mm.
And I've taken that to heart my whole life. I'm like, yeah, my wife makes me laugh. She is, everybody always thinks that, oh, how does she put up with Dave? But she gives it just as well as she takes it. I can tell you that right now. And, but yeah, so my dad, hugely influential in my life. I miss him. It's crazy, and you guys will experience this when your dad hits the end of his life, is, they reach a point where they have no more stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So they just keep telling you the same ones over and over and over again. And
my dad hit that in 1991.
Yeah, exactly. And I cannot tell you in that last year of life how many times my dad would start telling a story, and I'd be like, Dad, you already told me this, 30 times before. Oh, yeah, okay.
And continue right on.
Yeah, and he's like, that's great. Well,
You're going to hear it again.
Yeah. But now that he's gone, I wish I could hear those stories one more time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so my dad, and I think this shapes why my dad is the way he is, which is a positive thing. So my grandpa was older when he had my dad, my uncle, and my aunt. And my dad came here my grandpa came here from Greece in the early 1900s, worked his way from Ellis Island across the country.
Selling olive oil?
No. A little fire water. No, he worked in kitchens and on the railroad, and he worked all the way across the country. And he ended up settling in Southern Oregon, and he bought a chunk of land there. Went down to a local auto dealer, and the auto dealer gave him a loan to buy this big chunk of land. And anyways, that's the backstory to my father. My grandma came over years later. It was an arranged marriage. It was after World War II. So by the time my early 50s, when my aunt and uncle and my dad were born, my grandpa was in his 60s. So my grandpa passed away before I was born in the mid 70s. So my dad, my uncle, were really like you were talking about, the branches of your family. They were the top branch early. They were in their mid 20s. They had to take over the family. My grandma was Greek in a foreign country. My grandma never really, assimilated to America ever. Even though she moved here when she was 16, she wanted to be in Greece, but she lived here because her family lived here. So my dad and my uncle, to this day, they're kind of like a 1A and a 1B dad to me. I always spent time with my uncle too, and to this day, I still do. But they were very strong. They were very, we make a decision. This is what we're doing. So that was just personality. So my brother and me and my cousins, that we've all kind of taken that on. And that's Greek too. It's part of being Greek is you just, you make a decision and that's the right decision. I don't know why anybody would think it's wrong, But lessons from my dad. My dad's a good guy. He's a thinker. He's a very conservative decision maker. He doesn't make off. In fact, it's really cost him in a lot of ways. He could have made a lot of money in a lot of different investments, but he just thought about it too long, sort of thing. But I remember we were talking about it before the show. Me and Dave and I were. I remember being going off to college. And my dad was him and my uncle had a logging business for 25 years, 30 years, and that's how. I grew up, and that's how they made the money for the family. And my dad was steadfast. My brother and I were not going to be loggers. You're not going to use your body to make money. You're going to use your brain. That's the way it's going to be. So he pushed and he pushed and he pushed. And so he finally, I went off to college. I took a gap year after high school. And I remember this. I went to Oregon Institute of Technology, and I was going to be an electronic engineer. And he took me over. We looked at the school. And on the way back, if you know Southern Oregon, there's this big resort called Running Y, and it's a 36-hole golf course. It has high-end luxury houses all around. It's got a golf shop and restaurants, and it's a cool place. In fact, he lives in the community now. But he took me in there. We drove around, and we were looking at everything. And he goes, we were looking at prices and stuff like that. And he says, that you could live here one day. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could. He's like, no, you come to school, do your thing. He's like, I'll bet you'll be living here in 5 years. I really think that. And it always stuck with me. It wasn't the Running Y. It wasn't the houses there or anything like that. It was, my dad has always been the type that think bigger than what you are. You don't need to, accept where you're at. You don't need to accept, okay, I'm lower middle class. I'm always going to be lower middle class. I'm always going to work paycheck to paycheck. I'm always just barely going to make it or not. You can be better. If you work hard and you dedicate yourself, sacrifice. Most people in this world do not like the word sacrifice. They think they do, but sacrificing not going to Starbucks once a week, but going the other 6 days, it's not sacrifice, So he was big on that discipline, and in a nice way, he definitely, he was never mean to us. I mean, I can remember once that he spanked us in our entire lives, and believe me, I deserved it a lot more than that. But he just was, you have to learn discipline, and which melds into what I believe as a dad, and talking about this subject of lessons from dads. I think we miss as dads in this generation, and I think it's a societal issue now, is we miss that we need to teach our kids some level of desire. They need to have that, I've gone without, but I really want it. How do I get it? We, in this generation, it's easy to give our kids what they want. It's easy to let them, have that treat when we go in the gas station, and it's easy to let them, when we go into Shields, get a squishy, and it's easy to give them that extra hour of iPad time or whatever it is. But if you don't have motivation, if you don't have, I went without that and I want that, how do I get that? And teaching them that you're the only one that can do it.
Yeah.
You're the one that can motivate you, can change your ways. Dad isn't always going to be able to do that. That's the way they do it. The flip side of that is, and this is the lesson from my dad, is that, and Dave just did this with his daughter. Show them that. Take them to that luxury box at the baseball game, take them on that cool fishing trip in Florida and get a taste of that fun, and then be like, you went because you went with Dad, but pretty soon if you want to do that, you're going to have to do that. And that gives that desire. You know what I mean?
We were going up. So to your point, going up into our luxury suite at the Mariners Blue Jays game there on Friday night, and you go up these steps, and there's all the people that aren't a part of the VIP section. And I told my daughter, stop, look back at them, try to make eye contact with one person,
breathe deeply,
and if you can, think, if you would have worked a little bit harder.
That's exactly the lesson, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like that.
Exactly.
But it goes back to sports too, right? Isn't that the foundation of sports? You want to be a champion of that tournament or that league or that whatever it is, and failing and not just getting it handed to you, working your butt off to get there. Once you get it, it feels so good. You want to get back there. I mean, sports teach you that. And that's why I'm a big proponent of any sport, whether it's track or baseball or football or whatever it is. That naturally teaches that kid that desire, that want to, I gotta, Dave's son, he goes to the gym. The gym ain't fun. It's turned into fun for him, but the gym ain't fun. But
not for us.
But if you go to the gym, you get bigger and stronger and healthier, and that makes you a better baseball player or whatever it is. So I think that's what, going back to this, lessons from my dad is, work hard. He was a logger. He woke up at 3:00 in the morning, 6 days a week, 8 months out of the year, and, got home late at night and busted his backside and busted up his body, to be honest with you. He's 72 years old, 73 years old now, almost 74. And, his body's busted up because of it, but he grew a life, so that's the hardest thing, and I would give this suggestion to any father out there is don't always just give your kids everything they want, because that does not instill in them that desire to get it for themselves. If you want to put the carrot out there and help them find a way to get it so they feel that sense of accomplishment. But if you just hand it to them and it makes you feel good because your kids got everything they want, it's going to be a problem for them in adulthood.
Yeah.
So, okay, Dave, give us our second sponsor.
My wife and I were watching a movie over the weekend called Send Help, and it's about a airplane that crashes somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, and 2 people survive. They wind up on this island, and then they get at odds with each other. But we're sitting there, and my wife and I asked her, if that happened to us, what's the first thing we need to find? And she's like, well, shelter. I said, yeah, but fresh water. There's 3 things you would need: fresh water, shelter, and ultimately food. Well, here's the thing. If you're a homeowner, you take care of 2 out of the 3 things that you absolutely need all in one swoop: shelter and fresh water.
That's solid.
I know. So for everybody out there barely surviving, it's because you need a home. And who better to help you find a home than Rose Chadwell?
I can't think of anybody.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Over at Rose Chadwell Real Estate.
Mm-hmm.
Rose will help you find shelter and fresh water, which a home provides. And
I was going to say, she's also a hydrologist.
Yeah, exactly. She's part of a dive crew. But she'll help you. So reach out to Rose at bigskybrokers.com and find your forever dream home here in Montana.
So what you're saying is that you looked at Heather when she said that and you were like, we just need to find Rose. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's it.
And then Heather had some questions.
Satellite phone and some waterproof matches. My whole brain would be like, how can I let Rose know that we're going to need a house here on this island?
I know exactly what Dave was actually thinking. He said, if we are on a deserted island we're gonna die.
Exactly. We're going to turn on each other because one of us needs to survive and both of us are a food source.
How long?
I know your wife, she'll outthink you.
Yes, you will.
How long do you spend thinking of these?
These?
Is it off the cuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Like I thought about that maybe 17 seconds before Jeff transitioned to me.
Oh man, that's good, solid stuff. So, with that all being said, we're jumping into our secondary topic today, which is in the news. We're going to catch up on some crazy stories that are out there, and I'll start with the first one here. It's the story of all stories. I mean, it's the 4th of July, and what happens on the 4th of July is barbecuing and fireworks.
Yep.
Well, when it comes to barbecue, there's only one man and one name that towers above all, and that man's name is Joey Chestnut. Yeah.
Greatest athlete of my generation.
I'm telling you. Joey ate 66 hot dogs in 10 minutes again to claim the mustard belt at Nathan's famous contest. Joey's a machine.
Yeah. I mean, literally, he has an artificial heart, I think, at this point.
Does he? You think?
No, I don't know.
There's something to be said for just being the pinnacle at what you do.
Yeah.
And he is definitely the pinnacle.
I just can't wrap my head around that because, like, on I think it was Friday for lunch up at our property, we were barbecuing. We barbecued hot dogs, and I barbecued up a bunch, and I barbecued too many, which is another trait I get from my father. Is that if you need 5 steaks for everybody, we're going to make 10 just to make sure everybody's full, and we'll have leftovers, whatever. So I made too many hot dogs, and I ended up eating 3 hot dogs, and I paid for it like for the next 18 hours. Like it.
Your lower intestines, like, what kind of choices are you making? Buddy, we got to be on the same team here.
But 66 hot dogs?
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Before Joey Chestnut, it was Kobayashi.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that guy?
Yep.
Like, he would soak his in a cup of water.
Yep.
Dip. And then Joey Chestnut comes, and somehow he brought more dignity to it, which I still cannot wrap my head around. Like, the guy is just an incredible specimen.
A specimen is the right word. Just
like how he does it, it's unbelievable to me. But what a weird skill to have.
yeah.
Going back to the desert island thing, it's like you crash land and you got this collection of people like Lost or Gilligan's Island or whatever, and it's like, well, what can you do? You got the professor who can make a satellite dish out of 3 coconuts and a pineapple, and then you get to Joey Chestnut who's with you, and he's like, well,
I can eat a lot of hot dogs.
he goes, I can't really contribute anything right now, but if we find some sort of mythical stash of hot dogs on this island, you guys buckle up.
Come
Watch
see
out.
this guy.
Yeah, 'cause the show's about to start.
I want to get 60 hot dogs and stack them here on the table.
Yeah.
Because, like, how does that fit into the human stomach?
Oh.
Even a big guy, like, that's the volume. It's just massive.
In 10 minutes. So that
Yeah.
means it's all in there. Like, he's not crapping any out. It's
Well,
all in there.
I think a hot dog eating contest is only step 1 in a diarrhea contest.
Yeah, I want to see the plumbing in his house.
Exactly.
Got to be impressive.
You're doing all this on a septic system? Come on, man.
It's funny, not to sidetrack this, but it also brings up the fact of one of my pet peeves in life is people misuse words now, like the meaning of words. For example, the word hero. Everybody's a hero for everything anymore, and that's just not the case. They've misused the word hero. But the word disgusting has been misused.
Yeah.
So people say, like, oh, this is disgusting, him eating 66 hot dogs. I've watched it. There's nothing disgusting about it. It's wow,
It's wild, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not
It's
disgusting.
not disgusting. And like I've seen people say, like, if you're eating wings and you get like the wing, juice on your it's just hot sauce, and you like lick your finger, the hot sauce on your hand, the people call that disgusting. That's not disgusting. It's just, disgusting is like the innards of an animal, or like, it's just
I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, it is disgusting. It is. I've been there, So anyways, that's my sidetrack.
There's some top shelf words that we've sullied over the years.
Totally.
Like amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Oh, this hamburger's amazing. Really?
Is it?
First bite you had into it, you stopped in shock, awe, and wonder because your brain couldn't function or wrap its head around what you're tasting.
That cheese and lettuce is that much better than you've had in the past.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's amazing. You were amazed.
Yeah.
Like at a magic show.
Yeah. So let's bring back the correct use of words, people. Let's bring the temperature down. I attribute it to people reading too much. Because
What?
people have become adjective whores. Like they want to use all these adjectives in reading. Stop reading, okay? Because it gives you too big of a vocabulary.
That's not a problem that we currently have in life.
I would counterpoint. Read more, maybe?
Yeah, seriously, or at least study the proper use of words.
Learn to read. How about that?
There's a
Learn
reason why
to read.
I am completely against it.
Like I'm irritated that it's just English now when it used to be language arts.
Language arts.
It's an art.
Oh, yeah.
Language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's not anymore.
This has gone around for years, but like we started with pictographs and like cave paintings and stuff like that. And then we kind of like reached the pinnacle of language. Some people would say maybe Greek or Latin. And that's like as good as language ever got. We're on the backside of that bell curve where we're back to pictographs and emojis and, memes, things like that. So I think the solution is not read less, but maybe read better. How about that?
More
Go with
efficient.
that.
That's true. Like smut, maybe get rid of the smut stuff.
Sure.
And read a little history.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that could read some history and it'll really help them out in life, to be honest with you.
The Derek Zoolander School for Kids Who Don't Read Good.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
So we have one, too, our next story here. It's not a story. I thought Dave's great meme that he showed me earlier about the group of roofers in Detroit.
Have you seen that video?
Mm-mm.
So it supposedly takes place in Detroit, but there's these 4 roofers that get in a fight while they're on a job, and they pair off. And it's legitimately, I don't know what was said or up there, but one guy throws another guy off of the roof. He goes off, and from the video, it's bouncing around, but it looks like he lands on the car.
Oh,
in the driveway. Yeah.
I have seen that.
Yeah, and then the other 2 guys are grappling with each other, roll off of the roof, hit the ground, and continue to grapple.
It's awesome.
It was amazing.
I would love to know what started that.
I would too.
I mean, what pushes you to take your buddy and just be like, you're out of here?
Well,
Drugs.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
here's the deal. The video, if you watch it, they're all Hispanic. Okay, they're Hispanic roofers. Relax, Nate.
Here's our last demographic.
Yeah, you're not. Oh no, I got one more.
That's a big demographic in this country, too.
But if you listen, the guy's filming it is speaking in Spanish at him, and at one point he says, "Guys, knock it off. The white people are going to see." In Spanish.
Yes, they will.
Es gringos. But it is like, I don't know what happened. It's like a combination of a ladder match and a Royal Rumble that suddenly takes place on this Detroit roof, and it's such a fast clip. Like, I don't know. I didn't get resolution from it. I want to know, like you said, what started it? Were there charges filed? Are the guys okay? The crazy one. It's crazy seeing the one guy just literally throw the other guy off of the roof, but the 2 that hit the ground while grappling with each other pop up and continue to grapple and fight.
They did.
Like the adrenaline
Yeah,
rush.
it must have been a lot.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's epic. That's epic. I wonder if they get paid more for that.
I don't know.
Was it all a skit?
Like it's an entertainment value. Like that's
Man.
so we could go with a 30-year architectural dimensional shingle up there. We can have 4 of them get in a fight. That's going to be an extra $500 charge, but it's really going to be entertaining for your children.
Yeah. And
Don't
you'll
park
have
your car
a
there.
Viral meme
Yeah,
that comes
exactly.
out of it.
I love it.
I got one more.
You got one more?
I got one more.
One more too. So go ahead.
All right. From the world of entertainment, I have discovered a brand new TV show, which is starting to make its way through the news. But Little Singles on TLC.
I haven't heard of it.
You should check it out. It is like the Jersey Shore mixed with the Littlest Groom. It is literally about little singles. So
Oh my
I've watched it, and
I didn't think it was going that way.
We're on to the 8th or 9th demographic now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to burn the house down with this
It's
one.
a small demographic, though.
It is a small demographic. So I was fascinated by it because we used to call them dwarves.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
I guess it's little people now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, little singles. But it piqued my curiosity.
Didn't we call them midgets at one point too?
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's
I'm
not good
assuming
anymore.
Peter Dinklage is going to kick the door in at any moment here. Like, what'd you say?
Call me an elf one more time.
What do you mean, you people? But watching a show about a bunch of little singles trying to figure out dating life, it piqued my interest, and so I opened up my favorite web browser, Alta Vista, and I found out 3 quick things about little people. Number one, well, they're only half our size, but biologists consider them to be fully human.
Okay.
2, if you catch a little person and bonk him on the top of his head, he has to give you 30 gold coins. But, and number 3, if you lose a fight to a little person, you become one.
Was not going to go leprechaun, but you went leprechaun.
There we go. There we go. So, again, if what I just said upsets you, make sure you direct your email to Rose at bigskybrokers.com. She'll relay it all to me, and I will take your hatred in all seriousness.
Yeah, it was not Rose's fault by any means.
No.
Our last story, we'll move on quickly here. So my family's been following this at home, and I think it's darn cool. So Kelsey Fendler, she was rowing in a it's not a raft, it's like a boat, but it's completely powered by her, from Monterey, California to Oahu, a solo row, and it's like a thing, I guess. So people do that this time of year. They'll row across the ocean there to Oahu. There's records involved, everything else, but she was trying to be the first American woman to row from the mainland to Oahu. Well, she is a stud. Just let me tell you that. A little bit of background on her. She's a whitewater guide in the Grand Canyon. She's doing this for the Whale Foundation, which is actually a foundation that helps guides specifically in the Grand Canyon to deal with like emotional stuff and like mental health and things like that. So she's doing it to benefit that. But she rode the 2,400 miles. She figured it was going to take her anywhere from 80 to 100 days. She did it in 43 days. And by doing it in 43 days, she beat the individual male record by 9 days and the individual female record by 42 days.
Wow. And
it was really cool because she had Starlink out there. So every day she'd post a video. So my daughter and I and my wife, we'd all watch her videos and we were tracking her. And it's just really cool. Like as a girl dad, and Dave's a girl dad too.
I am.
A lot of people like try to find things to like, pump up their daughters, or like someone to look up to for their daughters. This gal is like a legit look up to this female. She is like, pardon the language, but she's a badass. She's she was only sleeping like 2 to 4 hours a night. She was rowing through the middle of the night. She was just after it, and she had some wind that helped her a little bit, which is part of it. She had some tides or some how the water goes sort of thing that helped her.
Those are called currents.
Thank you. Lost the word, but I got it now. But she's just awesome, and she's like positive, and she's just. And if you haven't seen the story, You Row Kelsey Instagram page is what she did it off of, and you can follow every single day and see what she did. Cool stuff. And Kelsey, if by some minute possibility you listen to this, you are a grade A badass, and you just kick the crap out of everybody else who's ever done this. So you do you, and I'm going to donate to your foundation for it too. It's pretty awesome. So
I hear the story, and my immediate question is, why?
The answer is why not?
Because you can fly to Hawaii from the West Coast in about 4 hours.
He probably would have been the guy that said, like, why summit Everest?
That's right.
Like, why go to the top?
You know, why row across the Pacific Ocean? Let's just take a minute and talk about women.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
Like, just people suddenly clutching their steering wheels tighter. What's he gonna say? They're listening to us on our drive.
The funny thing about her, she's when I because of the hot dogs, I was up in the middle of the night, giving it to the toilet.
You know, I was thinking about hot dogs. It made me think about this girl in a rowboat.
I was not sure where that was going.
Connect those dots, please.
No, I was on a midnight tour to the toilet bowl, and she happened to be pulling into Oahu when I was sitting on the can, and I'm watching her live stream coming into the thing. And she gets out of the boat, and of course, 43 days and she's got super sea legs. But this gal, she can't be 5'2", 5'4", something like that. She's pretty short, but her thighs, she just are huge. And I mean, if you're a rower, that's kind of the way it is. She just looked like a tank. Like she jumped out of there and it was like, geez, because you can't tell she's the boat. But anyways, congratulations.
That
Kelsey.
added a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
It's great.
She did. I don't know. It stuck in my head, but I just wanted to let you guys know I was on the can at midnight.
Appreciate it.
For the hot dogs. It's cyclical, Joey, the toilet.
If it's cyclical, you're going to want to see a proctologist.
Time is a flat circle.
Which brings us, I'll just do a little shout out for Montana Bond, my marketing agency here, MTBAHN. MTBAHN.com. If you want anything, sponsor podcast, you want any sort of marketing, reach out. I'm Jeff at MTBAHN.com. So come do some marketing with us. And with that, we're going to wrap it up for this week. Long episode. This is a page turner today. So
we're talking about our dads. They deserve it.
They do deserve it. We should have done this around Father's Day, but that's how we roll. So no, it's great. Subscribe to our socials. Really, the most active we're on right now is Instagram. We're going to get Facebook going. We're trying to figure out video. We're trying to figure everything out. So until then, we're just going to kind of stick with Instagram. But follow us on Instagram. Share us, like us, comment on us, do all that kind of stuff. You can review us on Apple Pod, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere you need. And then on YouTube, come watch us on YouTube and comment. It always helps out a little bit to comment,
You
like,
can
do
see
all
the
that
looks
stuff.
of fear in mine and Jeff's eyes when Dave starts going into one of his segments.
Man, the comments are going to explode. But seriously, though, comment. Let us know you're out there. We do have dedicated listeners.
Mm-hmm.
We have another couple I'll mention by name. Jeff Baseplug, school teacher here in Missoula, Montana. His last name's got an F in it.
Oh.
Base plug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll let you figure that one out. It's also got the symbol for boron in there.
Jeff and his no reading thing, he's not going to ever get that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't get that. Yeah.
What do you mean? And then maybe our youngest dedicated listener, 9-year-old Van Gannon. He loves us. He loves us, and so we're reaching all kinds of demographics here, while alienating several.
As many as possible.
Alienating as many demographics as we can. But here's the thing: if you want us to mention you by name, comment and let us know that you're out there, and we'll give you a shout out. And share.
Yep.
Share this podcast with your friends, your family, your closest enemies, whoever it is. Make sure you get that low stakes podcast out there in the general public.
Yeah, we'd like to get to the point where we take some listener questions, like on Instagram, like in our DMs, like, get up in our DMs, if you know what I mean.
No,
like,
no.
Drop us some DM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
We got all mixed up in our DMs. I don't even know what that means.
Thanks again, everybody listening. Thank you for sharing, like Dave said. And next week we will be back and we'll get after it again. So thanks, and see you next time.